Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this week's live show in Journey to Lasting Love. As you know, I am Tina Shayani. I am the founder of this group, as well as the head coach at T-Shay Coaching, where we help people to attract and build long-lasting relationships. I'm so happy to be here with you guys today, as I always am. I really look forward to these live shows. So this being almost at the very end of the year, the very last week before the end of 2022. Last week we discussed all the things that we have talked about here in this group. Week after week we do a live, and I hope that it's helpful, and I believe that it is, because that's the feedback that I get from you guys. Good morning, Phyllis. Nice to have you here. So last week we did kind of a wrap up, and this week we're talking about your life and my life. And if you are 100% happy with where you are today, good morning, Jean, and where your relationship is, then great. By all means, keep doing what you're doing and tell us about it too. Good morning, Joseph. Welcome. But if you're in a position that you want to create change in your life, that you want to be in a different place at the end of 2023 than you are right now, something has to shift. We can't keep doing the same thing and expecting something different. I think that was Einstein's definition of insanity, doing the same thing, expecting a different result. So if you want a different result from what you have today, you have to do something different. Now, we could do millions of things different, and it's really hard to identify what it is that we should be doing different in order to have a different outcome. Good morning, Grace. So what is it that we must do in order to have a different outcome? Well, we need to do things differently than what we're doing now. But there is one thing, one change that must be in place before you're able to create that change, before you're able to arrive at a different destination, before you're able to change the outcome of what is going to be your life. And that is to change your thoughts and your beliefs. Good morning, Brian. To change your thoughts and your beliefs. Now, it seems really ridiculous. What do my thoughts and beliefs have to do with my life? My life is my life because I have bad genes, because somebody hurt me really bad and I can't let it go, because my job, they suck the life out of me. And we come up with these millions of reasons why our life is our life. And we create these excuses. But I'm here to tell you the truth, and not everyone will tell you this truth. These are all excuses. These are all excuses. The very first thing that you must be willing to do is to be willing to change, to open the door and say, I am willing to be different. I am willing to think differently. And that is the very first and ultimately the most important step for creating a different life. So many of us, I want to say most of us, we become committed to our beliefs. We have a certain belief and it becomes our truth. And it is not necessarily the truth, it is just the truth as we see it. It's the perspective that we are putting on the truth. And we have certain beliefs about ourselves, about the world, and about the people around us. And we will do anything to ensure that those beliefs remain true, including destroy our own life. I see it time and time again, and if you start to look, you will see it too. We become committed to our beliefs, and a lot of those beliefs are limiting beliefs about ourselves. I'm not smart enough. I'm not athletic enough. I'm not dedicated enough. I'm not disciplined enough. And the list goes on and on and on. And we become committed. And how often do you find yourself trying to convince somebody or yourself, or while you're convincing the other person, you're also trying to convince yourself of why, the millions of excuses of why you are the way you are. But stop fighting for your limitations. Listen to that one more time. We actually fight for our limitations. And isn't that ridiculous? When we're trying to convince others and ourselves of I am this way, we are actually fighting for our limitation. And if you are able to find a way to let that go, everything will change. And then you will be open to the world, and you will be open to the opportunities, and you won't miss the opportunity because you're looking for something else. When you are committed to your life, to your excuses, you cannot change. You can diet from now until the cows come home. And I always use the example of diet just because it's like an easy thing. But if you believe that it's your genetics, or this is the way I am, or I'm unlucky, it will not change. As long as you continue to believe that you are unlucky, your life will not change. Because there's two things. Law of attraction is working to prove you right, is say, oh, you're unlucky? Let me give you some things so that you can continue to believe what you believe. And not only that, is that we become seekers of those things. We really look for those things. We look for the things that make us unhappy, and then we talk about them and we focus on them. And it just becomes like a vicious cycle. So if you want to be in a different place at the end of 2023, you have to tell yourself and give yourself permission to think differently. Allow yourself to think differently. And it's not an easy thing to do. And like everything else, it takes practice. If I want to run a marathon, which I don't, I can't get up tomorrow and go run the marathon. I'm going to actually die, but I have to run maybe for 3 minutes, maybe for 5 minutes at a time, and build up slowly. But the thing with the mental things, with the life changes, we don't have the patience to build slowly. You know, if you're running that marathon, you have the physical limitation that after you run out of breath, your legs hurt, and you have that feeling that you want to die. So we stop running. But when it comes to the mental and spiritual stuff, we expect it to all get done in an hour. We say, okay, I want to change, and boom, we think it should be different. And when we fall back and we go back to our, good morning, Alina, and when we go back to our former way of thinking, we are shocked, like, but I decided to change. What happened? But the thing to understand is that it takes time, and it's a process, and you have to go one step at a time. So the very first step and the most important step is to understand that it is you and your beliefs that are creating your life. The relationships that you have been in are because of your beliefs. You know, I hear time and time again, I'm going to stay with this person who I know is not good for me because what if I don't find somebody else? So the first thing to do is to let go of this idea of what if I don't find somebody else? But what if you do? What if you find something that you never imagined, but you can't get there if you're holding on? You can't pick something up if your hands are already full. Does that make sense? And a belief is like having your hands already full. You can't pick up a new belief and a new attitude if you are already committed to an old belief. If you are so afraid of being alone that you hold on to whatever it is that you have, your hands are already full. You can't pick up something new. So the idea is to really let go of this limiting belief and change it. And first look and see what it is. And it's not really easy to do alone. Once I started to think about becoming a coach, I've always had coaches because it was part of the program that we had to coach each other for practice. And I was like, I don't need this. But I realized that through the exercises, there are so many things that came up that I didn't know were there. And once they rose up to the top and I was able to look at them, I was like, oh wow, I didn't know this was there. Then I really didn't have to do anything. Once I realized it was there, it almost disappeared by magic because I realized that it's there and I realized that it's what's holding me back. And I realized that I don't need it. So that's how I was able to let it go. So the idea is to bring your beliefs. What is it that you believe in? And to say, is this thing serving me? And if the answer is no, you need to let it go and you need to replace it with something else. You know, they say you can't stop thinking. We're always thinking. That voice is constantly talking to us in our heads. But the thing that we can do is to give it a new thought. You can't stop thinking. But if your thought is constantly, I'm not smart enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not smart enough, change it to, I'm doing the best I can, I'm doing the best I can. I had a success today. This was successful. I have improved here. I have improved there. So really kind of reduce this expectation of yourself to achieve everything instantaneously. Be patient with yourself and the universe and your thoughts, and be open. Be open to the idea of new thoughts and feelings coming in. Be open to new experiences. Don't just want them, but really be open to them. Be open to looking at life from a new perspective. So really, the first and most important magical thing that you can do in order to be in a different place at the end of 2023 than you are now is to understand that your thoughts and your beliefs create your life experience. Once you understand that, everything then has the opportunity to come into your life and to really be open to the change. Don't just say you want to change, but be willing to do what it takes. Be willing to let things go that you were holding on to. And that is the magical way to create change in your life. The very first step is to be willing. You know, like I want to go to the movies, but I'm not willing to get in the car. Guess what? I'm never getting to the movies. You know, so it's kind of like, yeah, I want to have a relationship, but I don't want to go on dates. So you have to be open to change. You have to be willing to do things differently. What you have done and thought and felt in the past has gotten you to where you are now. So if you want to be in a different place, you're going to have to change your thoughts, your beliefs, your feelings, and your actions. And little by little, drop by drop, by the end of 2023, you will be in a different place. But you have to be willing to change. That willingness to do something different. Good morning, Heather. That willingness to do things differently. That willingness to think differently is what is going to allow your life to change. Let go of your limitations. Stop fighting for your limitations because that's just ridiculous. We all do it, but we don't realize that we do it. But now that this is something that you are aware of, you're going to catch yourself defending your limitations. And let me know when that happens, because if you are aware, if you are looking for it, you will catch yourself. And change it. Just a little tweak, just a little change, just a little shift in your mindset can lead to exponential change in every area of your life. So next week I am going to be away. I am going to continue to do the live with you guys. I hope I'm going to do it from the beach. I'm going away with my family. I wish all of you a wonderful holiday, and I look forward to wishing you a happy new year next week. For those that celebrate Hanukkah, happy Hanukkah. And for those that celebrate Christmas, I wish you a very Merry Christmas coming up this weekend. I hope you enjoy your families. And let's look forward to beautiful new experiences in the coming year. Let's open up ourselves to new thoughts, new feelings, and new experiences. Let's put away our old negative expectations and open up ourselves to better and different experiences. Thank you for joining me live today. As always, I love hearing from you during the week. So send me your messages, leave your comments. If you're watching later, leave a comment so I know that you are here. And I will see you all next week. Have a wonderful holiday weekend. Take care, guys.